So what is a will? A will or testament is a legal document that expresses a person's wishes as to how their property, that's their physical property, or their assets, their savings, is to be distributed after their death, and as to which person or persons is to manage the property until its final distribution. They're known as executors. So why is it important? Well, should everyone have one, a will? Yes. Why? Well, I believe we all have a duty of care to those that we leave behind. And making your will is really important. It ensures there's no mess and expense tidying up and behind you, as it were. So making your will is very, very important. The plans you make for your family and friends when you're no longer around to look after them are just as important as the support you give them during your lifetime. It's got to be a good idea to guide what happens when you die and to reduce the burden and cost to those you leave behind. Yet many people put it off, perhaps because they don't like thinking about the end of their life, or maybe it's a question of time or cost. What is dying intestate? Well, when a person dies without leaving a valid will, their property or their estate must be shared out according to certain rules. These are called the rules of intestacy. You, as an individual, don't decide. You've lost control. Now, this bit's important. Only married or civil partners and some other close relatives can inherit under the rules of intestacy. An unmarried partner may get nothing. I'll just repeat that. An unmarried partner may get nothing if you don't have a will. And if you don't have a will, I've come across contentious scenarios, shall I put it. Families can and do fall out. Money can do strange things to some family members. So give yourself peace of mind, be very clear, and go and write a will. So where do I get a will? Well, you can go to a private client lawyer. You can go to people who call themselves will writers, or arguably, if your needs are relatively straightforward, you can do a do-it-yourself will. But I have a will. Good, but it might need updating. If, for example, there's been a change in your financial circumstances, you might have started a business, you might have received an inheritance, you might have got married, you might have children, you might be going through a divorce, perhaps even a change in inheritance tax rules or other legislation could mean your wills need updating, or even a beneficiary, an executor or trustee has died and it will need updating. And please don't forget your pets. Lee and I, we have left a specific clause and legacy in our wills. So if my wife and I die together, then my daughter Sasha gets our jackapoos, our cheeky little 2 jackapoos, and the legacy means she can still, she works full time, but she can then pay for dog walkers, pet insurance, those sorts of things. So we've left us a specific legacy bequest in our wills so that our dogs are looked after. So yeah, don't forget your pets. You may have heard of lasting powers of attorney. So what is the difference between a lasting power of attorney and a will? Well, a will, as I've already said, is a legal document that deals with what happens when you die. A lasting power of attorney is a legal document that lets you choose trusted people, so that could be your adult children, for example, to make financial decisions or even health decisions on your behalf whilst you're alive, but in a situation where you no longer have mental capacity. A lawyer, a will writer can explain more. We can't get those done for free as far as I'm aware. And don't leave it too late. You can effect them at any age. My wife and I have them and we're in our 50s, and my wife's kind of like early 50s, but I'm thankfully still in my 50s, but it won't be for much longer. But I have a will. Now, this final section is on legacies. So, excuse me, what is a legacy? Well, a legacy is money or property that you receive from someone after they die. And how would you receive that? Or how would you leave a legacy? Well, you can leave a legacy or gift in your will, and that ensures the people or causes, charitable causes you care about, are looked after. Now, Lee and I have meaningful legacies in our wills to neuroendocrine cancer, by the way, well, and the doggies, to be fair. So the Dogs Trust as well. And some of the larger charities have these large telesales teams that contact you if you've responded to some free wills marketing, for example. And up to 50% or more of a charity's income, these big charities, is provided in this way. Now, Catherine Bouvier at Neuroendocrine Cancer has said quite categorically that this charity will never have telesales teams. We're glad to hear. However, the charity would certainly benefit from a kind of slow burn future income stream. So I'd encourage all of you, if you have not done so already, to add a legacy to the Neuroendocrine Cancer UK in your wills. In fact, I think everyone affected by neuroendocrine cancer should think about doing this. That's yourselves, your family and friends. And of course, yeah, leave some for cats and dogs as well if you like. So let's just take an example. Let's say Catherine Bouvier phones me up and say, "Oh, John, any chance you could write out a cheque today for £5,000 to the charity, please?" I could respond, "Well, yeah, of course I could, Catherine, but I'm not sure that my bank would cash it." But gifting a similar amount via a legacy doesn't give you these financial headaches today. The charity will benefit way in the future. So just think about how much our homes have increased in value over the years, and what you're doing is really just giving a little bit of that growth.